Hey pals, long time no see. I've had a little break and I'm back. And I'm very excited to be back. I did have a little break and I really needed it. I was struggling a little bit mentally. Um, I do suffer with depression and I am going through some pretty heavy duty therapy at the moment, which I'm soon to be finished actually. But yeah, it's a lot. And sometimes you just need a break, and that's fine. And I took it, and I'm back, and I'm happy to be here. I'm just rambling on. What am I going to do today? I've made a couple of friendships recently. A few, quite a few. Hi, if you're watching. That was assuming a lot. And I really appreciate that. That's the biggest goal I have with this channel, is just to sort of get out there a little bit more, create community with you guys, and make real friendships, connections with people that I haven't really felt in a long time. So yeah, I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy to and appreciating the connections that I'm making, and two of them connections, um Beatrice from Beatrice's Book Nook and Donna from Mum's Book Collection. They are, of course, going to be linked below, um, and maybe even on the screen. Maybe. Either that or I've just done a weird little dance. Um, and yeah, so Donna and Beatrice both love this book, and I did not enjoy this book. But they love it so much, and I'm like, but I love them, so how can I not love what they love, right? So I'm going to give this book another go, and you're going to come for the ride. So I will try and update how I'm going with this book. I am going to try and read it all today. Today is Friday. What date are we doing this on? Friday the 12th of April. So, and they know that I'm doing this surprise video for them, but they don't know is that I'm reading Fourth Wing. Ah, I really didn't enjoy this the first time. Am I going to regret doing this? Maybe, maybe, maybe. But I am going to go into it as if I am Beatrice and Donna. And I am going to love this. 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 Okay. Also, can we welcome my chicken pox? Uh, okay, so we've had an interesting week in this house, and my child came out with chicken pox, and I now also have chicken pox. Luckily, well, I say luckily, I'd rather have them worse than her, but that's a parent thing. Parents out there know what I'm talking about there. But Isabel got them really bad. She was so poorly, and luckily I'm not quite as poorly, and I definitely don't have as many chicken pox. I just have like one right there that I have tried to cover with just one layer of foundation. Not foundation, come on, Laurie, you used to be a makeup artist. What's it called? concealer, concealer, concealer. I use a layer of concealer because I don't want to like make the situation worse. However, I did feel like I was having a guest appear, an unwanted guest appear in this video. So I thought I would draw more attention to it, and point that out. We should name this chicken pox. What could we? Okay, okay. The worst character in here is going to be the name of this chicken pox. Without further ado, let's find out. Okay, welcome to my dragon nest. This is the first time actually that I am reading in this area of my house. And I'm kind of loving it. This might be my new favourite place to hang out in my house. Sorry. Okay, that was not necessary. Okay, update on Fourth Wing. So, I am 98 pages in. Chapter 8 is about to start. And it's not quite as cringe as I remembered it being. But there's still quite a lot of cringe. So I think it might be quite interesting actually to put my rating, because I've just checked my story graph a little while ago and I didn't actually rate this the last time I read it. So this will be my first time rating it. So it might be kind of fun to use my tabbing system as a way to rate the book at the end. A little bit different to how I normally rate books. So obviously, well, not obviously, but how I rate books is 1 to 5, but I also do quarter and half stars. Just because I find that allows me to really dig in to what I think about a book. So like I feel like, for instance, between 3 and 4 stars is quite a big difference. A 3-star book, I can see that it's, there's a positive things about it, or maybe I just feel a little bit kind of, what's the word, where you don't feel one way or the other, but I'm not likely to recommend a 3-star book to someone. But 3.5 stars I might recommend, because I feel like when you're heading into that 3.5 and above, you're headed into that there's quite a bit that I enjoy about this book. And there's also things that I know, like if I know something about someone, they like this particular thing in a book, I can say, well, this book has that. I don't know. How do other people feel about how they rate books. If you rate books at all, feel free to let me know in the comments. Um, I feel like it's really like it's an interesting topic to talk about is rating because it's slightly different for everyone and it depends on what you like in a book, what you look for in a book. Um, and I think as well, for some people, like, and it depends on genre too. Like, if I'm reading a non-fiction book, I don't have to enjoy the book to give it a 4 or 5 star rating. I will replace enjoyment with what I feel I learned from. So it's like, I don't know, it's just it's just interesting how we view rating books. And I know some people don't rate non-fiction, for example, or they don't rate memoirs because you're rating effectively someone's life, which just feel a bit icky. I have I rated a memoir before? I don't read many memoirs. Mm, I'm assuming I probably have. I think the last memoir I read was Miriam Margolis. I think actually they've got a newer book out. I got one of their books a couple of years ago for Christmas, and I think that's the last memoir that I read, memoir sort of style book that I read. Anyway, I'm off on a tangent. Um, surprise, surprise. Um, yeah, okay. So Fourth Wing. Clearly, I just want to talk about anything except Fourth Wing. Um, okay, so there's still quite a lot of cringe happening. I would say actually the cringe is picking up a little bit now. Um, but I am also really enjoying certain things. So, what I'm enjoying so far is actually quite like Violet a lot more than I remembered. I don't know if that's going to change because obviously I'm still pretty early on in the book. Um, I am enjoying the world a lot more than I remember enjoying it previously. So maybe the last time I read it, I just wasn't really in the mood for it. Maybe I don't know. Um, but again, we'll see. Like, and I've always loved dragons in books, so I think that's why when I didn't enjoy it last time, I was quite surprised that I didn't enjoy it because I pretty much bought it because the person that told me about it um, mentioned dragons, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm in the market for a dragon book, so because I'm always in the market for a dragon book. Um, so yeah, I think I was surprised that I didn't get into it that much. So little things. Okay, things that really annoy me. The first one that stands out is what's his name? Dane. Oh my gosh, Dane. Okay, so I get that we're supposed to feel a certain way about Dane, right? But I really can't stand when um, a male character has such a low opinion of a female character that they have apparently known their whole lives. Now, it's a bit different if they haven't known each other their whole lives because we are humans and we often um, think of people on our first reactions, and our first reactions aren't always positive, and that's not always right. So you can't, like, if someone's new to another person, like, you're not gonna necessarily think bad of them for not getting that person yet. However, Dane has apparently known Violet his whole life and yet completely underestimates her, and acts like she's this tiny little breakable object that, and that's it. A breakable object. He doesn't actually view her as a human in any sense of the word, in my opinion. He looks at her as something he has to protect, which, don't get me wrong, there are times where that appeals. Um, appeals to me. Like, if someone is protective, that's not always a bad thing. Quite often, it's a lovely thing. But in this instance, it just feels a bit ucky. And yes, that's the technical term for it, ucky. Um, I can't. I can't cope with it. And where actually, I think maybe I've fallen into the trap of transferring that uck to Violet, because actually, so far, okay, another mini rant. So another thing that I really can't get on board with in, and it happens a lot in fantasy books, um, is where the female characters only seem to get their confidence from a male character giving them attention, positive attention in some way. Um, that happens a lot, and that really, again, it's the same thing. It makes my cringe glands rise and swell and really affect me. Can you tell because I'm not hiding it well at this point. Anyway, so that happens a lot, but so far that doesn't seem to be happening here. Violet definitely seems to have a natural confidence about her. And I really appreciate that, actually, much more than I appreciated it the first time, because I don't think I really noticed it the first time. And maybe because I remember Violet being a bit of a whiny.
Shucks, shucks, shucks.
But so far she hasn't been. So maybe I'm thinking of a different book. Am I thinking of a different book? What other book could it be? I know what book it is. The main character from Blood and Ash. Now that's a Moni Bish. Um, yeah, and that one is really bad for that. She only gets confidence when he says she can have confidence, because Anyway, we're not talking about From Blood and Ash today. That's how I feel so far. There are quite a few funny moments. There are quite a few moments. I love that. And but I'm not really going to focus on them right now, because I'm a heartless cow. Yeah, I'm going to get back to reading, and let's see where this journey takes me. It's definitely not going how I thought it was going to go so far. So let's hope we're on an upward trajectory here. The next update is that I've got to page 280. It is now 6:45 in the evening. So I think I'm going to be staying up quite late tonight. Um, but I think I'm doing okay. I'm about halfway, and the tabs are getting a little bit sparse now, and I don't know if that means I'm enjoying it more. I'm not sure. I think because I'm in like it's in quite a um what do you call it? Like a busy time of the book.
This book is nothing but smut and vulgarity purely for the sake of smut and vulgarity.
So I'm a little bit like, well, what's happening now kind of thing. What's happening next? Um but I am happier now that the annoying one, what's his name again? Uh Not Zayden. That's what we'll call him now. The Not Zayden one. Um that he just seems to not really be part of it anymore. I did like that. Although I think Violet probably realised beforehand. I think it finally clicked in. Like, not Zayden's like not a good guy, and that she would always have to watch her back around him. But then also, I've noticed that now that not Zayden's not in the picture, actually Zayden is also being a little bit controlling. But she's just seeing it as hot, which is just sorry, I've got a really bad gag reflex when it comes to these things. It's just not for me. It's not for me. Um yeah, so the now I genuinely am remembering now, like, why overall I just wasn't that into this book and why I didn't carry on the series. But also, I think because of that, I forgot the things that I did like and that I did enjoy. Like, I'm really enjoying the friendship relationship. I am, if you have watched like any of my videos, you probably know this already. Like, I'm a bit of a sucker for a good friendship group. I'm all about the friendship groups, all about the connections with people. It's kind of my thing in books. That's like, I think if I had to pick one thing that I could forgive all sins for, if there's a friendship group I can get on board with, I'm going to be there kind of thing. And that's it for me, I think. Um, yeah, I am. I don't know. I'm finding it so hard to like say that I'm enjoying it. I think that I am largely enjoying it. The things that I don't like are still there. I haven't imagined them like I sort of thought I might have. um, uh, Apart from, I think because every time someone has asked me, why don't you like Fourth Wing? Um, I've always said because I didn't like Violet. But actually, I like her a lot more than I thought I did. So I can't say that anymore because it's not true. Um, I think I think maybe I focused on not liking Violet. I think I said this already because I couldn't quite put my finger on why I didn't like what I didn't like, if that makes sense. And it's so easy just to pin it on the main character. Um, that's probably what happened. Yeah, so I blame Violet, and it wasn't Violet's fault. It was not Zayden's fault, and closely behind now, closely behind Zayden. So, and the romance stuff is just not like the way it's written. It's just not for me. I love romance in books, which actually, when I first read this, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was a thing for me. I genuinely probably had never read a romance book in my life when I read this the first time. And obviously, this time I have read romance books. I've read fantasy romance, I've read straight romance, I've read straight romance. what does that even mean? I've read all types of romance, in other words, and I do when it's written to my taste. I like it. Um, so yeah, so I can't even say that. And I think as well, like in the past, I've been very dismissive of books that have like a romance subplot, because I've almost just assumed that I didn't like it. But actually, if it's written well, I do like it, or written to my taste. That is actually, and this is not to my taste, people. Sorry, it's just not. But there are. Okay, I'm going to go back to reading because I'm just going to keep going backwards and forwards. But it's good, but it's not. But it's good, but it's not. But it's good, but it's not. My plan had originally been to read this all in one day, and get it all filmed in one sitting. That did not go to plan. But as you will have seen already, it's going interestingly. I think it's interesting anyway, because there's some things that I was not expecting to love, and I have, and there's some things that I have definitely not loved. Sorry about that. It's a reaction I have when my cringe glands are reactive. This book does that to me, and I don't know why. I just don't know. But anyway, I'm going to carry on reading this today, finish getting it tabbed up. I am on page 296. So I think I'll, maybe 2 to 3 hours left. Actually, I can tell you because I'm also listening to the audio, which actually tells you how long you've got left. Okay, 3 hours, 20 minutes, reading on 3 times speed. So yeah, I am getting through that one quite well, actually. I can listen to it on 3 times speed, which is a little bit higher than my normal speed, actually. Maybe I'm just trying to get through it. No, I'm joking. Actually, overall, I think I am enjoying it. Definitely more than I remember enjoying it the first time. So hopefully I will at least be able to give this a rating at the end. We shall see. Because I didn't rate it the last time I read it. Did I say that already? I'm assuming I've said that already in this video, but no, I didn't rate this the first time. I clearly just couldn't bring myself to think about it. So yeah, this is my goal, is just to be able to rate it. This is my goal. And also just to have a fun time. Even if it means my cringe glands are going like mad. But yeah. I do get these ideas, don't I? Anyway, let's get on with the reading, which is why we're here, right? Hi pals, it's time for final thoughts. I am going to do my makeup while I talk to you about my final thoughts because, well, honestly, I can't actually believe I'm going to say what I'm going to say. So, okay, apologies for the extra noise in the background today. As you can tell, it's the weekend. I've literally spent the whole week trying to work out my thoughts. So, as you could see, it was a ride for me, a dragon ride in parts, but not all parts, because there were definitely some parts I hate read. I definitely did some hate reading. However, what you may be interested to know is that I didn't hate it all the way through, and the things that I originally thought I hated, I definitely did not hate as much this time. So Violet, for instance, I definitely like her a lot more this time round. I think I completely undervalued her last time, and this time I kind of think she is probably the best character, best human character. Obviously the best characters are the dragons, and that's never going to change. Never. But
Butts.
it's always buts, isn't there? Big butts, little butts, all the butts. So my favourite characters, obviously the dragons. The dragons I love. Xaden, I do not love. I don't get the, I just don't get it with him. I liked him the first half because I felt like, you know, he was pretty, like he was a character that was pretty true to himself for the first half. But then the second half, I felt like he was starting to become more like the other guy, the one that tries to control things, him. I feel like he starts doing things like the other guy, and I don't like that. Like, just because you start getting feelings for someone, it doesn't mean that you become controlling. Like, that's what it kind of implies to me. Like, that, okay, it, you know, you can keep it cool until the feelings come in, and then all bets are off. We're just going to start controlling and manipulating. It's not really what I like to read. So that part of it, no, not for me. Yeah, let me just have a look. So as you can see, I've just given away my star rating. If you saw that, I don't know if it was in shot. Okay, so we might as well just give away my star rating. My tabs meant cringe, love, surprise, hate, and funny. I did not annotate this in a way that I've ever annotated a book, ever. And I kind of had a ball annotating in a very different way. I think I will probably change up how I annotate more often, because I really got a lot out of having a different system in place. So if you're an annotator, I definitely recommend changing things up every now and then just to see. But yeah, so I decided, obviously they're all sort of feelings, emotions: cringe, love, surprise, hate, funny. Okay, So I decided to go in order of how I perceive these feelings, how positive or negative I perceive these to be. So the worst, the the worst perceived in my mind was hate. So if the majority of the tabs were this creamy colour for hate, then I would give this book a 1 star. If the next one was cringe, I felt like cringe isn't quite as bad as hate. And you can forgive a certain amount of cringe as well, whereas if you hate anything in a book, it's kind of hard to get past that. I'm not saying you can't get past it, I'm just saying it's harder to get past that. I mean, am I wrong? I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, so cringe, I've decided that if the majority were cringe, I would give it a 2 stars. And then right in the middle was surprise, because I feel like surprise can be positive or negative or a bit of a mix. So if the majority of my tabs were the surprise tabs, then that would be a 3 star. And then 4 star would be funny, because again, you can be laughing with or at something. So there is that, there is like a difference in obviously the perception of that reaction. And then top 5 stars would be if I had the most amount of tabs for love, because love is the best. Okay, so we had 23 tabs for cringe, which actually isn't as many as I thought, especially looking at the side. And let's point out actually that the last sliver, the last 100 pages or so of this book, I did not tab a single thing, but the simple fact that it was ruining me. It had me in tears, as you saw. It had me completely engrossed, which definitely did not happen the first time I read this. So we can only see that as a good thing, I think. However, I do not like to be ruined like that. I do not like to be sobbing my heart out like that. That was like things were happening in my world, not the world of this book. That was too much for me, too much. I do cry at books, but not very often, and certainly not like that. That was beyond anything, any reaction I've had to a book ever, I think. I mean, surely I'd remember, right? Okay, so I had 23 tabs for cringe. For love, I had 24. So at the moment, we've got a 5-star read. Surprise, though, we had 32 tabs for surprise. I was surprised 32 times in this book. Not all of them positive surprises, but you know, if it's 32 is the biggest number, then it is a 3-star. I had 25 tabs for hate, so it's not a 1-star. We know that much. And we had 28 tabs for funny. So this means I am giving Fourth Wing 3 stars. I've gone from not rating it to 3 stars. That's pretty impressive if you ask me. I was not expecting this. Honestly, I was expecting this to be a hate read from start to finish. A hate / I don't care read, I might add, actually, because I didn't think I'd care at all. And I thought I was going to have to force myself through the whole thing. And actually, I didn't have to force myself through. It wasn't that. it did keep me going and intrigued enough to want to keep going. And at this point, I think I might read the second book. 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 Anyway, let me know in the comment section below what you thought. Did you read Fourth Wing, either recently or when it first came out or whatever? What are your thoughts about Fourth Wing? Did you experience any of the emotions that I found along the way? And yeah, just tell me everything that you know about Fourth Wing, basically. I want to know, I want to decide if I'm going to read this second book, because I think I'm going to, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think I should read the second book? Would you be interested in another vlog like this? Is it a vlog? Another video like this? And Donna and Beatrice, I don't think we can be friends anymore. Okay. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh. Yeah, someone said in the last couple of months, God knows who it was, who knows, but someone said if you don't like a book, you need to reread it. So I guess I did. I definitely did not like this book. I think I love to hate, hate to love. And on that note, let me know if I'm reading the next book on camera or not, because it will probably decide when I'm reading the next book, for a start. And also any thoughts that you have about Fourth Wing, positive, negative, all of them. Just give all of the thoughts, and we'll have a good old chat about it. I think I'm doing this as a premiere, so if you are watching this alongside me, it'll be weird for me to watch my own video past the point of editing. So I will be cringing again, no doubt. But also, thanks for joining. Whether you're joining in with the premiere or watching at a later time, I'm really, really appreciative. I can't say that word clearly. Of you taking the time out of your day, evening, whatever, to hang out with me. And yeah, that's it. I'm happy. I'm happy that it's over.
She is happy, healthy, and alive.
And I'm now putting a dragon on my wish list. Okay. See you later, pals.